In this video, I want to share with you the lessons from $3.6 million in the Q4 sales. So I'll refresh it here. So this is Q4. This is Q4 2019. And so I want to share with you guys the main lessons from this Q4. So the major one is here. It's pretty much you need to utilize high CBO budget. So if we take a look here, you can see how high these budgets are, right? So basically, all of these campaigns, they have spent, you can see like the budgets are quite high, right? Like $2,000, $7,000, $5,000. So pretty much it makes the whole campaign structure consolidated and simple, and that's what Facebook likes. So if you have everything like very complex, and if you have like hundreds of different like ad sets, $5 a day each, then it makes the whole structure very complicated, and also you will see like very bad consistency, right? That's what Facebook doesn't like when your account has so many ad sets. Sometimes it's good to get started with such structure, but then over time you have to consolidate, you have to improve, you have to make everything more like streamlined and have less campaigns, less ad sets, and basically make everything kind of like simplified for Facebook ad structure. So including retargeting. So for example, we have campaigns for the retargeting where it's just like high budgets, quite high budgets, like $500, $1,000 a day, and then we just let Facebook to optimize with CBOs. Now, guys, if you're looking for a CBO training, so I put together the training where I outline the major strategies we're using for testing, for optimization, and for scaling. You can find it below this video, and you can basically get access to all of these strategies we are using right now. I showed them inside of like real ad accounts. I showed them I show you exactly the results. I include checklists, the formulas, everything that you need to do well with CBOs as it becomes mandatory very shortly, guys. Now, another thing for lessons for Q4 is like a lot of people, and you will see that like September or even October is like start talking about Q4 because everyone is talking about Q4 and it's a like good season for sales, but it's good season for those who are prepared. It's not just good season for everyone. Like, for example, if you like expect to get like very good results with CBO, but you haven't prepared. And what I mean by preparation is like building your email list, right? Building like good reputation, building like selling like good products, right? Delivering products fast to your customers, improving your customer experience, right? So those things that need to be improved. If you're not prepared for those, and it's not like I'm special or anything. I used to do those mistakes like a few years back when I found the product right before like Q4, but I was not prepared. My delivery time was awful, and my pretty much I wasn't prepared in terms of like cash flow, right? So I started scaling the product, but then at that point I had like my company was registered in a country with 7-day payouts on Stripe, right? So this is just like becomes ridiculous. You have to wait for 7 days to get your money, so you cannot scale properly. On top of that, my customer experience was not the best. Shipping times were not the best. So I ended up losing the Stripe account because they banned it for like too many chargebacks during that Q4, and because it was 7-day payout time. So I was making like $40,000 a day, like quite significant amount of money. But then I had like pretty much like 7 days worth of that, about $200,000 locked in my Stripe account for like a half a year or so, right? And so it was very painful experience. So I've learned from that you have to prepare for that in terms of like the customer experience. You have to prepare in terms of like email lists if you want to get the most out of it, right? Obviously, and then obviously banners, videos for Q4, because you don't want to like be reaching out to someone who's creating images or videos last moment with some like sudden requests. If they if you need something very urgently, banners for example for Halloween, or banners for like Black Friday, or banners for Cyber Monday, or banners for Christmas sale, like you don't want to do that last moment. So you have to be prepared for that. Now all of the time of the year, like you have pretty much to prepare for that. And so that's pretty much how I would recommend to do it. Now, one product, right? This is pretty much like what the stats that you have seen here. Pretty much like one product and several upsells, right? So you can do like very big volume just with one product and with several upsells, several like related products, like very small niche store. You can get to like 6 and 7 figure business. That's all you need to be focused on. Like you don't have to like, there obviously you can test. If you're like, what I would recommend, if you're like in some local market and or you have very good infrastructure and you can source products very cheaply from China and you can just do like poor volume, then you can do multiple products and general store option. But if you don't have those like resources in your disposal, then I would just recommend to identify one product, one ideally high ticket, $50-$70 plus few upsells. That's all you need for like 6-7 figure business. Now, another thing is email and SMS broadcasts. All right, so for SMS broadcast, so when you have the Black Friday, when you have the Cyber Monday, like all of those things, you have to identify customers. Obviously, you get like lots of different deals from different companies, but this is the channels that you can use to get extra sales. Like SMS Bump is an amazing solution where you can build your SMS list and then you can just broadcast them with different offers for Black Friday, for Cyber Monday, for before Christmas, right? So all of those things can be utilized to maximize your sales. Now, and this is probably the biggest lesson, right? Because a lot of people are talking about Q4 as like, they're talking about Q4, also it's like, as it was like some kind of like holy grail, right? Or also it's like the only period to sell products where, it doesn't matter pretty much like Q4, Q3, Q1, it doesn't matter because people are buying products throughout the year. And if you check AdSpy, if you check, spy tools, you'll see that if you even check your feed, right, then it's, people are selling products throughout the year. So you can see here, one of my students, Dmitry, he's pretty much, he was like hesitant, to sell. Like he's already experienced seller, but he was focused on his niche, on baby niche. But you can see here, that he started pretty much like focusing on the product. You can see December. This is December, end of Q4, right? So where people say, oh, it's like, it's too late. It's people don't buy stuff. People don't buy stuff on New Year. Like people buy stuff all the time, and if you cannot make it work, it's probably because your product is not good, or your ads are not good, or your website does not convert, or your funnel doesn't convert. So pretty much there are several issues why things might not work out for you. But people are always buying products, and the only difference is whether they're buying your products or your product or someone else's products. And at the same time, Q1. So think about this way. Q4, why it's so expensive, why CPMs are higher, why clicks are higher, is because big companies, they have huge marketing budgets, right? They have millions, hundreds of millions budgets for marketing. And end of the year, they have to pretty much, they have some like budgets that are not used. So they start dumping that money into advertising, like brand awareness, just regular, they don't put like a lot of thought into that, but they start dumping those budgets for advertising. And so what happens is the costs inflate because there's a lot of supply, a lot of demand, right? And not as much supply because Facebook, news feeds, like they have limited capacity. And so what happens is the costs go up, right? Whereas Q1, all those companies, they're not like pushing as hard. So the competition lower. So Q1 is amazing opportunity to sell products. So that's pretty much, what I would recommend. It's pretty much all in your, we have students, for example, that are doing right now, this time of the year, like January, right? Q1, they're doing like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a day in sales. And this is what I would recommend for you as well. Just focus on the products, focus on highly converting, making sure your funnel is highly converting, making sure your ads are good, and you will crush it, like no matter what season of the year. We want to replicate the same results that we've had in Q4 and this Q1, because I know that this is possible. So this is it, guys. Now, if you're looking for help with CBO campaigns, if you're looking to get the exact blueprint, the exact frameworks that we are using to scale CBO campaigns, to test, to optimize, and no matter what budget you're in, like if you're only spending like $50, $100 a day on ads, or you're spending $5,000-$10,000 a day on ads, this will be very useful for you. I'll show you inside of real ad accounts that have spent millions of dollars. So check it out below. There should be a link somewhere, and leave me comments. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions about this video, or you want me to cover some other topics, and definitely cover them in next video. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.